All right, welcome to video 3, where we're going to actually figure out the equation of a parabola based on some information. So there's not enough space down there to write the equation, so let's actually try to do this on a separate page where we have more space. So I'm going to rewrite this. So we know the vertex is at 8, 6. And then the focus is at 2, 6. So as always, I like to graph it real fast and just sketch it real fast to let me think about this. So I go 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 6 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the vertex, so that is actually on the parabola. The focus is at 2, 6, and that's always inside the parabola. So because of that, we know it opens up to the left. All right. We don't know much else, but that gives us a lot of information, right? Because it opens up to the left, we know a is less than 0, which means a is negative, and it means we have the form, because it opens up left, where x is by itself, and we have y minus k inside the parentheses plus h outside. So we can actually plug some information in, right? Because from our vertex, we know h is 8 and k is 6. So we have x is equal to a, y minus 6 squared plus 8. But we need to figure out what a is. And to do that, we need to use the distance between, which we call p, right? So we know the distance between these goes from 8 to 2, so that distance is 6. So we know p is equal to 6, and we know p is equal to 1 over 4 times a. So we have those two things. We can actually plug in what we know for p, and then just try to solve for a. Here, I like doing cross multiply, so we would get 6 times 4 times the absolute value of a is equal to 1. So we get 24, absolute value of a is equal to 1. Divide both sides by 24. Absolute value of a is equal to 1 over 24. We already said we know a is negative because it opens to the left, so a is negative 1 over 24. So we can do our left up. X is equal to negative 1 over 24, y minus 6 squared plus 8. All right. But that's not what the exercise in Khan Academy is. The exercise in Khan Academy is like number 4, where they give you the directrix and the focus. So let's do this. The focus is at 1, 3. And the directrix is at x is equal to 7. So again, I always like sketching this real fast. So 1, 1, 2, 3, here's the focus. X equals 7 would be a horizontal line. No, would be a vertical line at 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, vertical line. So because our directrix is vertical, that means the parabola would have to open up left or right. Because the focus is on the left, it means it opens up to the left. So again, we have a is less than 0, which means a is negative. And because it opens up to the left, we have the form of x is equal to a, y minus k squared plus h. But we don't know where the vertex is, and that's what we have to do, and that goes back to our notes in video 1, where we said the vertex is always halfway between the focus and the directrix. So that would just be right here, and our parabola opens left because it can't cross through the directrix, right? But we need to actually figure out what that halfway point is. So here that's 1, 3, and here that's 7. So we know, right, the y value is 3. So vertex we know the y value has to be at 3 because that's the focus y value as well. It has to be on that same line. Now we need to figure out the midpoint between these. We could use the midpoint formula, right, where we do x2 plus x1 over 2, right, where we do 1 plus 7 over 2, which is 8 over 2, which is 4. Or we could just figure out what's halfway in between. I'm not too sure what the numbers look like, but I'm pretty sure you could always figure out what is halfway in between 1 and 7. You can count your way into the middle or find the average like here. So our vertex is 4 and 3, which means h is 4, k is 3. So we can plug that in. Y minus k, so y minus 3 squared, plus h, so plus 4. But we still don't know a. So again, we have to do like we did in the last problem, where we figure out what p is. P is equal to 1 over 4 times the absolute value of a. So we look at our graph. That's just the distance between the vertex and the focus, or the vertex and the directrix. Both of that would be 3, right? So p is 3. And then we do 1 over 4 times the absolute value of a. Again, cross multiply. So we get 12, absolute value a is equal to 1. Divide both sides by 12. Absolute value of a is equal to 1 over 12. Because it opens up to the left, we want our a to be negative. So we can say it's negative 1 over 12. So we do x is equal to negative 1 over x is equal to negative 1 over 12. Y minus 3 squared plus 4. So that's all the work we have to do. Sketch it so you know which way it opens, you know which form to use. A lot of helpful information is in that if we sketch it real fast. So I'm looking for one more practice problem to do. So let's do number 8. All right. So they even give us a little graph to try and put it there. So sketch it first. Vertex, -2, 1. Directrix is vertical, x equals -3. Right? So, oh, that's not the information. We want focus and directrix. Do we not have one? Okay. We'll have to settle for number 8. So, right, this is the focus, which means the parabola goes through it, right, which means the distance between the vertex and the directrix is p, which here, that's 1. So that means the focus would have been at -1, 1, and we would have just found the halfway point for the vertex. But here we have h and k, right? So h is equal to -2, k is equal to 1, and then we need to use p to actually figure out what a is. So because p is equal to 1 over 4 times the absolute value of a, we know p is 1, so we can substitute it in. Cross multiply, so we get 4 times the value of absolute value of a is equal to 1. Divide both sides by that. Absolute value of a is equal to 1/4. Here, because the directrix was on the left and then the vertex was a little bit to the right of it, that means it opens up to the right, which means we have the form x is equal to a, y minus k squared plus h. And because it goes to the right, because it opens up to the right, we know a is bigger than 0, which means a is positive. So here, a is equal to positive 1/4. So we can do x is equal to positive 1/4, y minus k, so y minus 1 squared, and then plus h, so plus -2. So that would be our formula, our equation for this parabola. Again, on Khan Academy, it gives you the focus and the directrix, so we have to remember to find the midpoint halfway in between those two things for our vertex first. All right. Again, I'm always available in the morning from 8 to 10:30 to answer questions, and during your class time. So Monday from 2 to 3 and Wednesday to 2 to 3, I'm available. So make sure we take advantage of that. If we have questions, we'll have a quiz early next week about hyperbolas and parabolas. Good luck.